Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Whatever Whenever, the show where we talk about whatever we want whenever we want. I am Robin.
And I'm the Mentok, the prophet, YouTube savior, or just whenever, in this case. You know,
True. Yep. The time.
I'm trying to get that to stick.
Yeah. The whenever and the whatever. Um. So, we have a little bit of updates on something that we talked about last time, right?
Right.
Yes.
So, Activision, Blizzard, whatever you want to call them,
Yeah.
we did have our extensive opinions on that situation last time, and of course, the moment that we finished talking about that, even more things went down. Do you want to update the crowd?
Yeah. So, basically what happened is that last time we heard that both Nintendo and or not Nintendo, Sega. What the fuck am I saying?
Sony.
And one of those, Sony and Xbox had both sent like internal memos to their employees saying that they completely denounce everything that Activision Blizzard has done, and that they do not approve of body conduct, and they would be looking into reevaluating their relationship with the company. There hasn't been any update on that front. However, Nintendo has actually joined in on this like whole, saying that they are not approving of Bobby Kotick at all. I don't
Right.
know
So
I don't know if they said they're reevaluating the relationship, but we do know that they have joined in disapproving it, at least publicly.
yeah. So I last time around I thought that was pretty big news because I've never really seen Xbox and Sony or even Nintendo really take a stance on another game company like in at such magnitude. So it's a little up in the air what it means for that business relationship. But working with Activision is just not really the best. But they bring in so much money at this point, like it's hard to really just cut ties entirely. Um, I don't know where that situation is gonna go personally because it's been kind of quiet the last few days. Um, but we'll get into like the Game Award situation with that as well, because that's the most recent at the recording of this podcast. But Nintendo came out, denounced them, and I think that Sony just started taking off their games from the front page of the store.
Oh, I
So
haven't
they're
heard of
not
that.
showcasing their games anymore, or something like that.
I
I
didn't know
heard that
that.
like
That's
yeah, I heard like Call of Duty wasn't the front page, and Call of Duty's always on the front page of like the Sony store or the PlayStation store. So I'm not sure if that's still happening, but I think in the midst of their statement, they did do that for a few days.
well, that's good at the very least, if that's what happened. But another thing, and this actually quite upsets me, given the history of Jeff Keighley and the Game Awards, they have come out and said that they are not taking any sides on the Activision Blizzard situation,
Mm-hmm.
which to me is just the most bullshit thing ever, because it's not like they haven't taken sides on like lesser matters. Oh, I don't want to say lesser, but like similar matters before. There was the infamous case where Konami was fucking over Hideo Kojima, and Jeff Keighley clearly was not supposed to say that Konami wouldn't allow Kojima to accept an award for Metal Gear Solid 5, I think it was.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah. He was clearly not supposed to say that Konami like didn't allow Kojima to accept the award, which is why he wasn't there that year. And yet he did it anyways. And
Yeah,
since that
and
since that time, I don't think Konami has ever like had a game appear at the Game Awards or anything like that.
it's hard to say if that's because of that situation or if Konami just hasn't really put out anything substantial since Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah.
So it's hard to to see. It's hard to really see if it was because of that reason or if they just blacklisted themselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he took a hard stance on that, Jeff Keighley, and it was like a lot of people really enjoyed that fact because there was so much news around the Konami situation and how like a bunch of people were treated like crap, like out at in the offices, like they're literally just shoved them in like these tiny think boxes and overworked them, and Kojima was one of those people that had to break away from that, etc., or got removed from the situation, like finish the game and then you're fired.
Yeah.
So, but we know how Jeff Keighley feels about Kojima. I think there's just a very personal stake. I don't know if that moment was planned. I mean, then again, he's organizing the award show, but
Yeah.
I feel like he kind of just had a fuck it moment and decided to say that.
Yeah. Because I know Keeley and Kojima are like friends and stuff. So I think maybe that might have been like and like I need to stand up for my friend situation. Whereas he doesn't know anyone in Activision or Blizzard, so he can separate himself from the situation. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying that's what it feels like is happening.
Yeah, I mean we can't confirm it either way, but I think on what I found out for the Activision situation is they're not taking a stance on it, and only the games that are nominated. That's the only exposure that Activision's gonna have. But I believe that whatever council they have selecting games of the year, I think they're like a couple of them are actually Activision employees. So
Really?
I need to confirm this though, but I'm pretty sure that they do have a stake in the Game Awards, just in total. So I don't know. Let me find this out.
Well, if that's true, then it's interesting just how much a conflict of interest is prevalent in just the gaming industry itself. Because one of the reasons why the ESA won't ban ban loot boxes and stuff like that for being gambling is because EA and Ubisoft have like members on the ESRB panel and everything.
Right.
So it would be like a similar situation in this case if that's correct.
So for the record, just in case anyone wants to know how the nominees for the categories are chosen, the Game Awards has an international jury of, they say, over 100 global media and influencer outlets selected for their history of critical evaluation of video games. I have to imagine that some of those people are actually like involved in gaming companies as well. But if there's supposed to be no bias, then you would assume that wouldn't be the case, right? I feel like just like the Oscars and stuff like that, it's kind of hard to track down exactly who those people are.
Yeah.
But let me see if I can find that out. But in the meantime, the situation where they're not taking a stance on it has pissed off Twitter, for one. But I guess a lot of people in general, the gaming community in general, I should say.
Yeah, well, Twitter is easy to piss off. You can say, "Oh, I forgot to do my laundry this morning," and someone will like flame you for not doing your laundry.
They'll cancel you and the washing machine.
Yep. but the more thing is I've seen this like all over the place. It's not just Twitter. It's like I've seen it in like Discords I'm a part of. I've seen it like on YouTube. I've seen it on even Facebook. I'm one of the few people who uses Facebook still. So.
Hey, I can't knock that. As much as I think Facebook is a dumpster fire, I see the need for it.
I literally only use it to look at the stupid meme pages I follow.
You're using it correctly then.
Yep.
All right, so I think that Activision Blizzard will not be a part of next week's annual Game Awards broadcast beyond its nominations. Non-committal statement on Activision's participation published in Washington Post. We want to support employees and developers, Keighley told the Post, before adding, we have to think very carefully about how to proceed here. And I understand the statement because Activision is not a small fry developer. And it is hard to just completely cut ties from these people, especially when you have a bunch of innocent game developers that have just literally done their job and just, put forth incredible effort putting out some quality stuff. It sucks to see them suffer as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get the feeling though that like if any Activision Blizzard game wins at the Game Awards this year, that everyone's gonna like call Jeff Keighley like a shill and like all this other stuff. So they're gonna like nominate them, but they're not gonna like actually win anything. Because if an Activision Blizzard game wins an award this year, it's going to be a PR disaster from what I believe.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
So there's one nomination, Call of Duty Warzone, for Best Ongoing Game and Best Esports Game. So it got nominated for 2 categories. They're not up for Game of the Year.
That's good.
So I think that's the only one, all things considered. So,
Yeah.
I honestly don't think it will win Best Ongoing Game. I think that will actually go to Final Fantasy XIV, especially in the wake of the expansion pack.
Yeah, especially with Endwalker dropping, and Endwalker, like I don't play Final Fantasy XIV, but I do have friends who play it, and the queue times for Endwalker have been astronomically stupid to the point where I think Square Enix is gonna have to upgrade their servers again for like the 3rd time this year.
So we'll talk about that in a minute because I actually have a personal stake in that too.
Yeah.
But with Call of Duty, which is gonna be for those 2 awards, it may win Best Esports. Oh, excuse me. It may win Best Esports Game, but let me see what it's up against here. Honestly, I'm an agent of chaos. I would love to see Call of Duty Warzone win Best Esports Game, and I want to see the internet erupt. Let me see nominations. Okay, so we got Call of Duty, League of Legends, Valorant, Dota 2, Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Honestly, I think Valorant will take it though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't care for any of those games you just mentioned, so
Yeah,
I'll just take.
me neither, but
word.
I'm just giving an educated guess here.
Yeah.
Because I honestly think that game does deserve it, considering over the last couple of years it's really blown up on the Twitch realm, etc. So
Yeah.
I think it will take it. But then again, it's esports, right? It's not.
Yeah. I mean,
so I'm basing my
like,
opinion off popularity and that kind of thing.
Not to knock esports. It's just like I don't know. I've never been big on sports in general, so I'm not really into the whole esports scene. I just know that there's a guy who plays League of Legends and he cross dresses and he's pretty cute, but that's about it.
Is that the Sonic Fox fellow?
No, it's a guy called Sneaky.
Sneaky.
Yeah, he was a part of Cloud9 or whatever that organization is.
I have no knowledge on these things either. That's another thing.
That's
I'm one of those people that just it's like it's a separate island.
Yeah,
of it's gaming for me that I just have not taken in.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
But hey, we'll research our esports for the podcast just in case anything relevant comes up in the future, and you'll hear it whenever.
Yeah.
Wherever.
Whatever.
I missed the pun. Shit.
It's all good. It's okay, it's only episode 2. I'm sure we'll have a lot more chances to do it in the future.
Yeah, I mean, hey, welcome to episode 2, people. Like, I think we're doing it much better than the first episode, to be honest. Like, not to say the first one is bad, but this one seems to be flowing a little bit better in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, I definitely feel like that too.
So is there anything else regarding Activision that really came out after that? Well, I know Bobby Kotick came out and said, I'm willing to step down, but I want to fix everything first because
I think that's
I'm
just
a shining white knight.
Yeah, I think that's just a PR statement. Honestly,
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever gonna like back down unless like the shareholders pool together and actually boot him out of the company, which I don't know if that's going to happen. I
I
know that
don't think they will.
there was like that one shareholders thing who like said they were gonna like create a coalition to get Kotick removed, but they were they're like a percentage of the actual shareholders, so I don't think they're really gonna do much.
Yeah, I heard that they're not moving on that either.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I haven't heard any news since he's made that statement. So I feel like he's just gonna sit there and just soak this in.
Yeah. I feel like he's just saying what people want to hear, and then hoping that everything blows over. And I hope it doesn't, but at the rate it's going, it feels like it might blow over, which sucks.
All right, so I decided to Google the latest news, see if there's anything that happened with this situation.
Yep.
And I've stumbled onto another one, reported by Kotaku, saying that Call of Duty QA testers are facing layoffs after reportedly being promised raises by Activision. This is specifically for a studio called Raven Software. But of course, they are under Activision.
How hard is it to just not be the shittiest company in America right now? Like, legitimately. How hard is it?
I mean, I think they would have saved themselves more money if they gave these people raises. But now you have more of a PR disaster by laying off a bunch of people.
It's like it's like they see like a small like campfire in the middle of the woods that someone accidentally poured a little bit of gasoline on, and they were like, okay, someone crash an oil truck into this thing right now.
It's literally worst case scenario for most of the company. I mean, granted, it's a big company, so like this is like a small studio in a big company, but
I know.
I mean, all of those studios are working on Call of Duty now. Like all those companies that did, like the Crash Bandicoot collection and the Spyro collection and all those things that people were critically acclaimed and people adored, and they were just like, all right, you're gonna work on Call of Duty now, and I'm gonna lay off some of you while we're at it. Oh, and thanks for the revenue as well.
Yeah, it's like, okay, these critically acclaimed remasters made a lot of money. It sucks that it didn't make as much money as our nickel-and diming, gambling $60 loot box Call of Duty experience makes, though. So, get to work in the Call of Duty mines.
Right. So here we are.
Yeah.
That's the latest news out of Activision, though. I haven't seen anything regarding the scandal within the last few days. So I think what they're doing is just laying low, which I knew they were going to do. They're just trying to wait for this to blow over. And that's going to be the end of that. Like, realistically. Unless, I don't know.
Unless, like, something major happens. I'm still pissed off at, like, Jason Schreier, who, he used to work for Kotaku, now he works for Bloomberg. He, like, when all of this stuff dropped, I think I mentioned this last time, when all this stuff dropped, he was like, admittedly, I knew about all of this stuff for years, but I never said anything. Because I didn't have the proof for it or something. I was like, no, dude, if you knew about it, because like he's friends with people who work in the company, or at least he was. I don't know if he is now. I was like, if you knew about all this, you could have told everyone. Like, you're allegedly a journalist. That's your fucking job, is to expose these wrongdoings, right?
Right.
And he just did.
So just to play devil's advocate, though. Even if he did know certain people in the industry and they told him about it, they would have to come out as like an anonymous source or, And again, if you have Bobby Kotick out here saying, I'm going to kill your family, like a friggin' mob boss, I would see like why Jason would feel like, okay, I need proof. Like I need not one soul in the gaming community to doubt this.
Yeah, I don't know. When it comes to Jason, I really don't like the guy, and I've seen him go after smaller like indie game companies for a lot less. So it annoys me that something actually major happened at a big company and he didn't expose it.
Right.
When he
and I'm just speculating here.
Yeah.
Jason, I've seen this guy grow, like from because it just surprised me that one day he became like the guy to expose things and be he was like that journalist that just like really, you know, gave this hard gaming journalism.
Yeah.
But I remember growing up, like he used to put out some pretty whack pieces.
Yeah.
Um,
I know
so it's
exactly what
interesting
you
to
mean.
see that he's like become that guy now, you know, and
Yeah.
to the
I
point
mean,
where he left Kotaku and he's like, I'm my own thing now. So
I'm my own thing. I'm working for the guy who almost bought out the election.
is that what he's doing?
No, he's
Oh,
working for Bloomberg, which is owned by Mike Bloomberg, who was
oh,
trying to
okay.
buy
Oh
his
yeah,
way
you
into the
did.
election. Yeah.
Yes. You did mention that earlier. Okay,
Yeah.
I was about to say.
Yeah. God, that whole campaign was just the weirdest shit.
Right. I didn't fall for it at all.
No,
That
me
was
neither.
just-
I just do you remember
it
that
was
video?
so random.
Do you remember that video he made where he was like having that Australian ice cream that's called like it's called Big Gay Ice Cream, and the joke was that like he ate it and he was like, Big Gay Ice Cream, and that was like a whole like campaign ad or something on his Instagram.
For his presidential.
Yeah,
Run?
for Mike Bloomberg's presidential run, that was like one of his things. He had like his aide give him some ice cream, and he was like, Big Gay Ice Cream.
I've never seen this.
Oh, you have to watch it later. It is the
I've never
funniest
seen this.
shit. Oh,
Big gay ice cream.
Mike Bloomberg. Yeah,
This is 10 seconds. Hold on.
yeah.
Where's my ice cream? No, that can't be. That's not right. What? Big gay ice cream? Like, what's that? Is that the brand though?
Yeah, it's like an Australian brand of ice cream, I think.
Okay, so
Yeah.
clearly he did this for the demographic.
I guess so. I don't know.
He's like, what is the most LGBTQ friendly product I can just talk about for 10 seconds? How about big gay ice cream?
Oh man, I don't know. I just think that's so funny, like, because it's obviously like I know he's intended it to be like funny or something, but
Mhm.
it's funny in a way he didn't intend. I feel like.
Well, I think he embraced the idea that he was just literally just pumping money into the campaign. And so
Yeah.
I think he, after a while, like he just embraced the meme and just like, yeah, I'm paying my way through this.
Yep.
So that's kind of like, that's a little bit respectable in my opinion. Like once you can embrace the meme and you know what you're doing,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah. I can see that for sure. Oh man.
So I also wanted to talk about Halo Infinite now too.
Oh,
I know we discussed earlier we wanted to talk about the release of that.
Yeah.
You've played a little bit?
I've played the multiplayer. I don't have the campaign. I don't think it's out yet.
It's not out yet.
Yeah,
I forget when that drops. Like within the next couple of weeks or something.
Yeah, I think
Let
so.
me check.
I made a post about how I actually enjoyed the multiplayer for Halo Infinite on my nude rounds.
Yeah, so December 8th. So it comes out this week. Campaign comes out this week.
Oh wow.
So perfect.
Yeah.
I was never big on Halo growing up. Like I played the very first one with friends, and I remember like when Combat Evolved, the PC version of the first game came out. I was playing a lot of multiplayer. Like that was probably like my first real FPS experience. Before I got into Counter-Strike later on. And I just remember like not being good at it. And I would just run in, try to get the flag and get my ass kicked, meleeed from behind, etc., etc. But I didn't really play a lot of Halo 2 or Halo 3. And of course, I've always been like a Sony shill, plus like a little bit of Nintendo on the side. So I never really had access to a lot of Halo games up until this point. But now that I have a PC that can run that type of stuff, and Halo Infinite's free, I didn't need much convincing, and I played a couple of rounds. And I must say, it brought me back to that original first game Halo feel. You know, like of course there's a lot of cool maneuvers that you can do these days, but you can still play Halo like the same way that you played Combat Evolved, etc. And I really enjoy that. Like it's very beginner friendly or very easy to hop in and out.
Yeah, I actually have a bit more history with the Halo franchise than you do because
Mm-hmm.
I started with Halo Reach on the Xbox 360, which is a prequel story to Combat
Right.
Evolved, and
Yeah.
I played that at my friend's house when I was living on Fort Knox, and then when I moved back up here to Washington, uh, I worked for my uncle for a little bit. I was like weeding his garden or something to get his old Xbox 360, which is the Halo 3 edition actually. So it's like an original base model. And
Okay.
yeah, and I have that. I have that still actually. And
It's good to keep those things.
yeah, yep. And so I have I played I played Reach, and then I got Halo 3 for either my birthday or Christmas at some point. And so I played through all of three's campaign. I played it with my dad and stuff, and that was fun. Um, and I also played through uh, like Combat Evolves multiplayer because at my high school we had what was called like LAN Club, which was like um, the last Friday of every month. It would be like a club where everyone just comes in and plays video games after school.
That's cool.
Yeah, and on our school computers we had legitimately obtained copies of Combat Evolved. And
You know, it's not often I hear that. I don't mean to take away from your story,
yeah,
but just as a quick like this is a quick aside. Like at my high school, it was illegal copies of Halo on a LAN network that was illegally put on there. So you know when you can just add something to the cloud that they have, or the
yeah.
local.
Well, I
like-
mean,
yeah,
well by
it was
legit,
that situation going on at my
yeah.
school.
Well, by legitimately obtained, I mean legitimately obtained in air quotes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You know I can't see you right now, so
yeah.
that
that's
went over
that's
my head.
yeah. That's true. But yeah, so we had that, and like my senior year of high school, we just had them like set up outside of the computer lab, and we had like one of those. I don't know how it's like in other schools, but like in my school, we were able to just eat lunch anywhere. We didn't have to eat in the cafeteria. So during lunch, we would all just go to the commons area by the computer lab and play on Combat Evolved outside. And I had this like great time where I called myself the Warthog King, and we would play on Blood Gulch. And what I would do is just get into the Warthog and immediately start running over everyone I could, to the point
Yeah.
where, and like doing rings around the bases where everyone would spawn. And it got to the point where like the first thing anyone would do when I joined the game was either get in the Warthog first, or try and go for the rocket launcher in the middle of the map, or the sniper rifle, and just kill me so that way I couldn't win the game. Yeah.
I think the Warthog is like it has that. I guess less so now. There's like more ways to defend against it now, but I think like in Combat Evolved, it's just you can only do so much in certain situations. That thing's running you over one way or another, or somebody's gonna be in the back and shooting the crap out of you. I think like honestly, that's the most fun that I still have to this day. Like, because
Yeah.
I'm not good at FPSs. I just don't have the skills. I played a lot of single player games, and I still do. Like, but whenever I play Halo, the Warthog, like once I'm in the back and I have a good driver, I'm good. You know.
Yeah, I know what you
I
mean.
can get some kills that way.
Yeah, I'm not really into like pretty much any shooter game aside from the Halo series, which is why I didn't like Halo 4. They had a 360 version of that, so my friend got it for me for Christmas one year, and I played the 360 version, and I didn't care for it at all because it felt too much like a Call of Duty game and not like a Halo game.
Right.
they like completely changed the way like everything felt, and at the it, I was like 75% of the way through the campaign, and I was just like, I don't like this game. It's not Halo. And
Yeah, so
yeah,
it was similar reasons for me, right? Like I saw things were changing a lot with Halo. I know people have fond memories of Reach.
yeah,
I didn't get to play enough of that, but it I can see. I thought it was just me, just I was inexperienced with Halo, but I'm just like, this looks a lot like Call of Duty now.
yeah. I
In the
know.
past couple of games.
Yeah, and especially Halo 5, where like they had like this weird story thing, and it was like the campaign was 3 hours long. There was no local multiplayer on it or anything. It was weird. But
So
yeah, what's up?
yeah, because I think there was some controversy with Infinite though, which I think is a stellar game. I'm glad that they took some time to really give it some polish because this game has been like, in and out of game shows over the last couple of years, right?
Yeah,
And there was that controversy with the really plain faced brute, and
yeah,
everybody's like, yeah, we gotta get back to work on this one, right? So I'm glad that they decided to do all of that. I'm always about bringing the games like back to the drawing board if necessary. I think that there's no shame in that. But now that it's out and multiplayer is free for anyone listening, by the way, if you're curious as to see how Halo is or if you're interested at all, I think that's going to be free indefinitely. Multiplayer, at least, not the campaign.
yeah. The campaign you have to pay for, but the multiplayer is free, and they do have some like microtransaction elements to it, but it's not like egregious to the point where I'm like, okay, boycotting this game. Like, they have like a $10 season pass, and the season pass never expires, unlike other games where you have to renew it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you then, Robin, because this is the controversy I was kind of going to get into.
Yeah.
Somebody discovered, I don't know if it was through data mining or whatever, or just using a calculator, that if you want to get everything in Halo's multiplayer, you're going to have to fork over like close to $1,000 or something like that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think it's something along those lines. I feel very neutral about this because if the core gameplay is free and you have $1,000 worth of customization options, I I'm like on both sides of the fence with this one. I think that more options are great. But for people who want to get everything, it kind of sucks for them, right? But it's a lot of options.
Well,
So those are the two sides that I'm kind of fighting with here.
I think, like, for me, I'm like definitely a little bit split on it because there's things that I like didn't like that you had to unlock, which is like colors for your armor and stuff. I was like, that should just be free. It's been like that way for every other Halo game, unless it was
Right.
different in 5, and I was like not paying attention to that. But there's like that aspect of it, but then there's also the aspect where I know some people like don't care for cosmetic stuff at all in games. Like my dad, for example, he plays Fortnite and he's gonna play this, and he just doesn't care for like any cosmetic stuff. He's like, the game is fun. I'm not dropping a fucking dime on this though. Yeah.
I'm in the same boat. I don't care enough for Halo to pay any money for any type of customization, right?
Yeah.
But let me carry it over to a game that I am passionate about, which is Final Fantasy XIV. If that game did not have customizable options, and I had to pay for everything, which you can, there are some outfits that you can pay for, I'd be upset, but I don't feel it's the same, but maybe somebody out there will disagree with me. Like, if you care more about Halo than you care about Final Fantasy 14, and your friend got you to play 14, and if there were no customization options for you, would that go further than, like, let's say Halo, for instance, where you're just running and gunning? Like, you can barely see yourself. You're first person, and you're getting shot at, and that's pretty much it. I think with Final Fantasy, you're curating a character, and if a bunch of like cosmetics were hidden behind a paywall, I'd be a little upset, you know. So I think like, when I'm paying, but that's different too. That's a monthly subscription. But just for the sake of the argument, let's say that I just had no options and I had to pay for it. The game just wouldn't be interesting to me at all, because I do like customization, especially in games. But I like having a bunch of options that are free.
Yeah.
And I don't mind if you sell like premium items or really good looking pets or whatever, because maybe I'll decide, yeah, $5 is cool. Let me put that out there for that item. But if I don't have items in the first place to really mess around with, and hairstyles and things like that, it gets me less engaged. And I honestly think that people should, or gaming companies shouldn't have everything behind the paywall, even if it's free. Like, give a little something. And I think that you can do that as you progress and level up in Halo, which is another point that I'm going to come up with in a second. But I think as you progress, you will unlock stuff. But a lot of it is behind the paywall with Halo Infinite. And I think was a little bit of controversy sometime around like a few days ago, actually. It was like a couple of weeks where this was found out.
Yeah. I think my problem with the whole like cosmetics being locked away is that, like, yeah, you can unlock some stuff, but like you can't unlock a whole lot. Like, I've gotten like a few armor colors and then maybe like a sticker for my armor or something, but I haven't like actually gotten anything substantial. And it seems like a lot of the like more I guess fan servicey stuff is behind a paywall. Like, they have the same type of armor that Master Chief wears that's locked behind the battle pass, I think. And then there's Emil, who was a character from Halo.
ODST, right?
No, it was Reach. He was
Reach, okay.
the guy with like the skull painted on his helmet.
Yes.
Yeah, his helmet is locked behind the battle pass as well, which I think kind of sucks, but
Yeah, because I think that's where your emotional stake is, right? That's your first game.
Yeah, my first game was Reach, and I loved Emil as a character. He was, spoilers for anyone who hasn't played Reach and cares about that stuff. He was like the second to last character to die in the game, meaning that he was like kind of your bro the whole game. Which,
right?
Yeah.
I always love those types of characters, though.
Yeah.
Like the right hand man.
Yeah, and like his like thing was that, like, he was good with like knives and stuff. Like, the first time you see him, he's like flipping a knife around, and so ironically, he dies by getting stabbed in the back by an elite with an energy sword.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I love the helmet, though.
Yeah, his helmet is really cool. I wish I had it in the game.
Should get one in real life. That'd be a nice Halloween costume.
Oh yeah, I could go as Emil for Halloween. I'd have to ask Vasi to help me with that. She's really good at like armor and stuff. She has Master Chief's helmet.
She's super talented.
Yeah.
I didn't know she did like real life arts and crafts.
She does like sometimes. She's more like modeling, like 3D models and like drawing and stuff. But I think she got Master Chief's helmet from like a Microsoft thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was like you attended there and then you could get it for free, I think.
Shout out to Vasi, by the way.
Yes, Vasi is a good friend of mine. Check out her art. Yes.
Is she on Twitter, mostly?
Yeah. She's like at __ Vasi or something like that.
Go show her some love.
Yes.
But yeah, the other point I wanted to bring up about Halo Infinite though, was progression, which people were saying the progression is ass. Like basically you can play like 100 matches and you're still like level 0, which I found to be my issue. Unless you're like doing some crazy like objectives and like really hunting objectives while you're playing multiplayer, because they give you more points for doing different things, right?
Oh yeah, no, progression fucking sucks in this game.
It's terrible. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I
I still don't think I'm level 1, and I think I've played about maybe 15, 20 games so far.
I'm level 2, and that's because I managed to capture the flag once.
So I'm sure they reward you, like, for doing that.
Yeah.
That's no easy feat. But even one of the developers at 343 was playing over Thanksgiving, and he's like, "Yeah, you're right. This is ass. We're gonna be fixing that like as soon as the weekend's over."
Yeah.
I haven't played since, so I'm not sure if there's anything that's happened or if there's any substantial updates.
No, I mean, I kind of get why it is so slow, is because like the current season pass is gonna last until like April of next year, which is longer than it normally would, because usually a season pass in a online game lasts like a month or two, from what I understand.
Right.
So like I get the progression being slowed, like for how it is now, but I mean, come on. You could have made it a little bit quicker.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just like give me a little bit, reward me for being a totally awful player.
Yeah.
I think I had my best kill death ratio was like 8 kills and 8 deaths and like 10 assists. I saw that the other day. I'm like, oh, I'm so proud of myself.
Well, that's your
That's
best.
putting in perspective how bad I am at like first person shooting.
My best is like that thing, only I had like 8 assists instead of 10, so you're a little bit better than me.
Well, there you go. So I don't feel as bad then. So like, on top of that, Halo fans are already complaining about lack of content, and I don't understand why. But maybe someone more into Halo would disagree with me, but I mean, I think like they've literally had this game out for about 2 weeks, and people already want more content, which clearly they're going to do. Like, I'm sure there's a roadmap here.
I think it's just that like I think it's a lot of Halo fans are like how I was, where they were like jaded and bitter and expecting nothing good to come of it. So when it was like free, they were like, okay, I guess I'll give it a shot. It's probably gonna be another stupid Call of Duty ripoff. And they played it, and they're like, what the fuck? Halo is back. Why is there so little in here? I want more. Give me more.
Right.
So I think it's kind of like that effect of where they didn't expect it to like be a good Halo game, and now they just are complaining that they don't have enough of the good Halo game that they've been craving for the past decade.
All right, so check this then in relation to that.
Yeah.
Because I got news for everybody. I'm the news guy for whatever reason. Like, I love finding articles about this stuff. So, Halo subreddit temporarily shut down because angry gamers won't stop being toxic assholes. I quote Kotaku right now. They're always like
the clickbaitiest of them all, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of their headlines. But regardless, this is true, right? So once again, angry gamers are angry and yelling and being just the worst. Okay, that's a pointless statement. This time it's happened over on Reddit, specifically on the main Halo subreddit. Let's see. Multiplayer launched on November 15th. It was a nice surprise, and a lot of people jumped online, began playing. This is like a lot of fluff in this article.
Yeah. They gotta flip it out.
All right, so it got so bad last night because this article was published today. They were sending threats to devs, name-calling, attempting to dox folks they disagreed with or disliked. And it got so bad that last night the mods made the decision to lock it down until Monday. On all sides, this has absolutely gone on long enough and spiraled out of control. Posted a our Halo mod, Guilty Spark, last night. So that's kind of where it goes. I honestly, subreddit drama has a tendency to be all over the place, though. So like, I'll take this article with a grain of salt. 'Cause I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of subreddits have like their own internal drama, and mods tend to be very knee jerky sometimes too. Like, all right, this is it. I'm shutting it down. I've seen it for like very silly things. So
Yeah.
power hungry mods are also a thing.
Yeah, there's like a lot of I've seen this like story. I don't even use Reddit. I just see like these stories in my feed of like a Reddit making like a subreddit making a stupid decision, and people don't agree with it, so they defy the rules or whatever, and then they end up like getting banned, so they make their own new subreddit or something. It's yeah, it's this whole weird thing.
And like I've heard like Reddit is a good place. I mean, I use Reddit every day. Like I never post on it. Barely, unless like sometimes I feel like adding something constructive to the conversation in certain, like especially in gaming circles. Um so, not to knock Reddit and like say that, they're different from me, because it's this huge like community and hive mind that blames each other for everything, but everybody's participating in this, right?
Yeah.
But I've seen situations like subreddit drama, and then like these really like harsh rules, where I've seen people like, yeah, you should promote your content on Reddit and blah blah blah. And like a lot of these guys don't want you to post
Yeah.
links, even if it's relevant to the subreddit. Like they would rather it be there with shit posts and memes and like,
Yeah, like
nothing to bring conversation, especially like, and I'm not knocking the Sonic the Hedgehog subreddit, but I just feel like you would want, substantial content on there to discuss the characters and things like that. But it just went down this huge meme. It just became a meme and shitpost subreddit.
I blame
And
Game Grumps.
basically, it's not only that, but like,
Yeah.
Snapcube, and I love their dubs. Have you heard
Yeah,
of them,
I have
Robin?
I love the Sonic Adventure 2 dub. I love the Sonic 06 dub. I love the Sonic Riders dub. Those are all great. I love them so
Right.
much.
No shade thrown at them.
Yeah, no shade
Because
thrown at them.
they literally made a recording that, changed Sonic culture for a bit, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, like on this subreddit is just memes about Eggman pissing on the moon.
Yeah.
Like years after the fact, like how
Yeah.
old is that video? And it's still
It's-
like happening on there. Bro, like, let the joke be legendary and don't kill it.
Yeah,
But
don't run it into the
you're
ground. Don't pile drive that thing so hard that it dies a painful and slow death in
right.
the hospital or
But
something.
people are allowed to post the 300th pissing on the moon meme, and I can't like show off my own content with character analysis or origins of certain characters. I'm not saying that I've posted and had it deleted before, but like they're very strict on that rule.
Yeah.
And so I haven't even bothered, right?
Yeah.
So it's just it's one of those things.
Yeah.
And like that's coming back to like the bigger picture. Like subreddits tend to be very protective and hypocritical of themselves. So with Halo here, I can't even take a stance on it, but it was bound to happen.
Yeah, no, I think the only stance that you and I can really take here is doxing is bad, harassing is bad. Don't do that. Obviously.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I've just never been so emotionally invested in anything to want to do that to people. And I don't think anyone should do that.
Yeah. You should.
Like it doesn't matter
You should
how
like. Even I don't care like how pissed off you get over something. At the end of the day, it's a fucking video game. Don't like post people's public information or like private information publicly and tell people to harass them because something happened in a video game. That's stupid. Like,
right.
yeah.
I don't know. Gaming communities are just very extra passionate about things that
Yeah.
Have us end up in the news all the time, and it's just like, no, please don't do this to me. You
Yeah.
make me look bad. But
Yeah.
I guess I wanted to put a cap on this episode with Final Fantasy, since I brought it up several times already, right?
Yeah.
I think we'll come full circle with that. So Endwalker is in early access right now as this podcast is being recorded, and it has had like a crazy amount of growth over the last year, even like in between expansions, right? Shadowbringers was the very last expansion, which was critically acclaimed, and I think it was one of my favorite stories ever told in a Final Fantasy game. Like, it's just amazing. Anyone who's thinking of starting Final Fantasy 14, it's free. You can go check it out. It's free to a certain level. It's gonna be a lot. But don't be overwhelmed with it. Just go ahead, take your time, have fun, and just play it casually. You don't feel stressed to catch up to anybody. But that's beside the point. Endwalker is coming up now, and I tried to get into early access a couple days ago, and I was behind like 4,000 people. I've never seen the queue that long before. Like, I could not get into the server. They are slammed. And a lot of that growth was because people were leaving World of Warcraft. And I think after the Activision Blizzard news, even more people are leaving World of Warcraft. So a lot of change is happening with the Final Fantasy 14 community. But absolutely one of the best supported games out there, in my opinion. The director is a very talented guy, very passionate about the product too. And I really enjoy his guidance, and I enjoy his relationship with the team and all that. So I'm looking forward to actually diving into Endwalker, but yeah, the servers are slammed, and I expected as much, but not this bad. Yeah. So I don't know if you've had any time with the game, Robin.
I only know about it through like my friends who play it, and I know that it was actually like two things that kind of blew up the server count. Was, yes, Activision Blizzard leaving, but then Fubuki, a HoloLive member, started streaming on Final Fantasy XIV one day, and I think her stream of the game lasted like, it was like a very short time, because everyone immediately started joining the server that she was on, and it destroyed the game. So, combined Warcraft sucking now and Activision Blizzard sucking constantly, causing the mass exodus to 14. It's like they took the Oregon Trail, only it's the Final Fantasy 14 trail. I'm trying to make a joke here, and it's not working.
Well, it's sticking, because I love the Oregon Trail. I love that game.
I still haven't played it.
Oh man, I've always wanted to play that on stream one time. Like, I always wanted to get some really old PC games and play. I actually have like all those discs, but I know that if I got like a CD player working in my current PC or whatever, I think I have one. I just plugged it out to attach a new drive to it, but it would have the game running at like 100 miles per hour. So I don't even like. I'm gonna have to find a way to get it online.
You gotta like emulate it or something.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I would love to dive into that stuff, but yeah, just to end the episode on a more lighthearted note.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how much time we have. How much time do we have, Robin?
We usually keep these an hour, so like 5 minutes.
Say what, 5 minutes? Okay,
yeah.
So this is enough time. So of course, there's controversy, because there always is. Twitter. It's always Twitter.
It's always fucking Twitter.
Someone posted a picture of a render of grapes in Final Fantasy XIV. Right?
Yeah.
Final Fantasy XIV was made in 2011. I'm not excusing this by any means, but it is still running on some older tech. And if you want to upgrade the game, you're gonna have to redo the game. So but they've been doing graphical upgrades over the time period and stuff like that. They have it optimized for PS5, and I think it still looks great. Like they've managed to have like this engine and this basis that looks very nice. But there is a photo of some grapes in Endwalker, and it's like a crystal shape, like how the Final Fantasy crystals are shaped like traditionally, right? Yeah. So they took that shape and they wrapped like a grape image around it, and they put that in the game, and people are like, this is a game in 2021. I'm like, bro, it's just grapes, man. Okay. Like if a character looked like that, if it was just like a cylinder with a character image wrapped around it, then like you would have something. But Twitter is just like, yo, this is your Endwalker, and it's grapes.
Okay, so immediately whenever anyone talks like shit on graphics, like with the grapes there, the trees in Pokemon Sword and Shield, I'm like immediately like, shut up. Go look at the fruit stands in Fire Emblem Three Houses, where it's literally just a single image on a flat texture. You can complain about that. This stuff, shut up.
and honestly, with certain games, I understand why they take it's cool like to be in a game where you can slowly walk, like let's talk Red Dead Redemption. Like you slowly walk up to a fruit stand and you can interact with it, pick up an individual orange.
Yeah.
I think some people like to have that type of immersion, but I really do not care about that. Like if I see the fruits, I'll just laugh at it. Like if it's a flat image, like, ha, look at this. Yeah. And I'm just going to move on, because if the game is good, I don't care about those minor things, because I think that shows that they spent time on the things that matter, and then just left it up to the player to just say, okay, well, just understand that, just suspend your disbelief for a minute, like, and just step away. Like this is just a game at the end of the day.
Like I can easily suspend my disbelief. I can look at a flat texture of like what's meant to be like a fruit stand and be like, okay, because like most of the time, you're just running past it. You're not stopping and staring at it for 5 minutes unless you're trying to be a snarky asshole on Twitter.
Right. And do you want the game to load longer because it's loading grapes?
Yeah.
Exactly. If it was, they would complain like, oh my God, the loading times of this game is ass. And it's like, so you have to, optimize in certain ways. And was the grapes thing lazy? Yeah, I think it is. But I don't think grapes matter in the grand scheme of this expansion pack that's supposed to be ending like a saga that has been years in development, and the writing and the character development and like the voice acting and all of that stuff. Like we can't disregard all of that just for some shitty looking grapes, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's honestly kind of insulting if you like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, as I said last time, like, I just think of just being a dev and working on a project like that, and then going to Twitter and seeing people complain about the grapes. It's just like, oh, I can't imagine how that feels. But hey, I think that's the minority. It's not going to play into like a major controversy. I haven't heard much about the story for Endwalker yet. Still in early access, and I'm, looking forward to really diving into that soon.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I hope you get to enjoy Endwalker soon, then.
I don't know what the queues are like. Maybe I'll check later today and see if I can do something. Like, maybe I'll just put on Netflix and just leave it and just stay in line and then probably get in at like 4 a.m.,
Yeah. That could be good. All right. I think that's the end of this episode, then.
Sounds good.
All right.
I hope you guys enjoyed episode 2. We're still a little rough around the edges here, but I think we're working it out,
We're still figuring everything out. We'll get better as time goes on.
We need to figure out a sign off.
Oh, yeah.
Just like stop the audio right now. Like, would that work? I would love like maybe our like the end of our podcast should just have these abrupt endings.
Yeah. We could be like the show that has no outro, and we'd just be like, okay, yeah, we're done, and then it just stops.
Yeah. Can you imagine that confused person on YouTube? Like, what the? That's the end of it. Like, you just hear Markiplier shouting like right after because autoplay.
Yeah. Or we could do what Pyrocynical used to do and just end every video with like the audio of a meme or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool, right?
Yeah.
Well, take us home, Robin.
All right. Well, this is the end of episode 2. I hope you all enjoyed. I'm Robin.
And I'm the Mentok, the whenever part of this podcast.
I'm the whatever, I guess. So, yeah, we'll see you all later.
Peace.